Hi, I'm Chuck Quinley, and I want to talk to you about leadership. Today I want to talk to you about the first step in becoming a leader. The first step in becoming a leader. There are a lot of things that goes into developing yourself as a leader, but there's one thing that you have to do. If you want to be a leader, you got to be a leader. When I was a kid, I had friends who played baseball, and I would go to watch them in their Little League games. You know, I admired that. I wish I was out there. But then there was that day that I had to ask my mom and dad to take me down to the ballpark and to sign me up. And I joined the team. You know, like in the Bible, you got that story of Saul. And Saul was chosen to be the king of Israel, but you got the sense that he didn't really want to be the leader. He was hiding, the Bible says. When they went to find him and said, "Oh, here's our great king," the guy was nowhere to be found. He was trying to avoid the spotlight and the stress and all that comes with it of leadership. Saul bailed out. Now then, you turn to the other story and you got David. David was made to be a leader. And when he stepped up and he saw there's Goliath, here's humiliation for my people, he just couldn't take it. He had to lead, and he was willing to put himself at risk and be the leader. That's what it takes. A leader has to step up. He's just a guy in the group, but at some point, that person gets a burning in their heart and they realize that they're not being proud and they're not trying to push themselves above the others. They realize that they are called to lead, that it's a calling, that it's something God puts inside of us, that we're supposed to be the influencer over the other people. We're supposed to cast a shadow in their life, and it has a lot of responsibility that goes with it. And there are things that maybe you used to do that if you're going to be a leader among people, you're not going to be able to do those things anymore because you can't stumble other people with your lifestyle, and you have to be even more careful. But you know, it just makes you a better person because you stop giving yourself excuses for a lot of behaviors that you would condemn in others. Paul writes in 1 Timothy chapter 3, "If a man desires the position of a bishop, he desires a good work." Paul didn't say, you shouldn't be so proud as to think you should be the overseer of the congregation. He said, no, if it's in your heart and you desire that, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You ought to go with that. So my prayer for you is that if you're being called into leadership, God will give you the courage to step up and be a leader and acknowledge in your own heart, leader, that's what I am. And leadership is what I will do. And I will try to be the one who's the steady, reliable person that everybody leans on. A leader's kind of like, well, I tell you, I'll give you an illustration. When Sherry and I planted our church in Manila, we were young, but we were living in this neighborhood, and we already had about 3 or 4 kids of our own. We have 6 kids now. And my church staff came to live in our house because we were a young church and we didn't have much income, and we also wanted a chance to interact with these young people. And so they were living in our house, and one day I told the group that I was going to take my kids to the mall, and they said they'd like to ride along so they could go to the mall too. So we got to the shopping center, and the kids were hungry, and so I saw McDonald's. I took my kids over to McDonald's. Well, I noticed that my whole church staff followed us to McDonald's. And then my kids lined up to order food, and then my church staff lined up to order food right in there with my children. And I realized I now had these adult children that I was going to be responsible for feeding and taking care of them the same way I would my own kids. So as I got in line behind my children, I was thinking, man, I can't afford this. And then the Lord spoke to me, and He said, "Do you want to be a prince or not?" And I thought about it. I said, yeah, I would love to be a prince. But I knew what He was saying. And the Lord said, don't you ever complain. Don't ever think that you can't do it. Don't ever feel that it's a heavy weight for you to take care of other people. I will give you all the money that you need. I will give you all the things that you need. If you need buildings, whatever you need to take care of my people, I will provide that for you. You be a prince. You stand up among the people. You be that big tree that's got a lot of shade, and people come to you and try to get up underneath you there and get some security from being around you. That's what a leader is. That's what a leader does. And that's what you can be. So pay attention to yourself and to your development as a leader. But step one is to stand up and say, I am a leader. I'm called by God to lead, and I will dedicate myself to this role, and I step into it. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to check us out online at the emergenetwork.org website, emergenetwork.org. You're going to enjoy that site. It'll have a lot of things on there that will benefit you as a leader. So join the site, sign up, get the newsletter also, and let's stay in contact with you.